My name is Nick B, and let's jump into this week's futures overview. So, starting with the Forex economic calendar, Monday we have ISM manufacturing PMI, Tuesday JOLTS job openings, Wednesday we have ADP non-farm employment change, ISM services PMI, and Fed Chair Powell speaks. Thursday we have unemployment claims, Friday we have NFP. So, it's going to be a pretty fundamentally active week. Let's take a look at futures. Now we had a bit of a gap up this open, so as always, starting with ES. Now the two levels I have plotted on ES are 52.53. This was from last week's overview. We went over this, the breakout, and we only got as low as 52.60 before we bounced and ended up breaking the previous all-time highs just now from 53.22. If we can hold 53.22, great. My next upside targets are 53.50, 53.80, and then 5400 to the upside. In terms of downside, this whole floor here from 52.53 to 53.22, it's one floor for me. So unless we're breaking out or breaking down below it, I would not try to attempt to chase any moves here. Although we can break it down on the smaller time frames on the intraday, and maybe there is something worthwhile. We're sticking to looking at the big picture. We want direction here. So upside is covered. Let's cover the downside. If we do end up breaking below 5300, we might have some room to revisit the areas of 5273, 5260, and then ultimately if we break down below 5253, that's going to give us room to come down towards 5232 and then 5185. We're just revisiting the previous higher lows, but it's not expected. I think we go higher. I say we go higher. And we're going to continue to look for buy the dip opportunities rather than shorting it or counter trend trading here. Let's move on to NQ. So NQ, let me blow this up on the daily. Let me clear this up really quick. Oops. Okay. So as always, on the daily, let's identify the floors. So right away, I want to plot the all-time highs at 18,709. So right away, I can tell you that if and when NASDAQ does break out above 18,709, we definitely have room to target as high as 19,000, I would say. First, it would be 18,800, 18,900, but ideally the target to the upside is 19,000 for me on the NASDAQ. If we end up breaking down, I'd imagine that the first higher low of 18,385, if and when we do get a breakdown of that level, that low that we carved from last week's short week, if that does end up breaking, well, we could have room to come down to as low as 18,000. That was a bit of the floor that we formed about 2 weeks ago, and we weren't able to close below 18,000. Price managed to bounce right off of that area, and we ended up taking out previous all-time highs that were over at 18,506. So I'm going to go ahead and plot two levels here. 18,506 is more of our, as I call it, navigation level, meaning if we're above it, cool, we might have some juice that can help us continue holding to the upside. If we end up below 18,506, very possible we could see some more downside, but I wouldn't be quick to act on that level. I would get the confirmation on a break of 18,380. And ultimately, the third level, this is the second level. The third level I'm going to plot is going to be at 18,000. And 7, I believe that was the low. Now, the two directional levels I have up is to the upside. A break of 18,709, 19,000 we can target to the upside. And then when this comes, price action approaches this area of 18,000, if we do end up breaking below it, great. We can target some more downside by targeting previous lower highs, higher lows of 17,800. This is a big void, but again, the ultimate confirmation is if we can close below 18,500, we got to be attentive towards that low of 18,380. And again, if 18,380 cannot hold price up into this week, well, we could see some more downside. I wouldn't be quick to short in any of this structure here, in any of this trend just yet. That's counter trend trading, but we'll see what we get into the week. And as always, let's have a solid week ahead trading, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.